Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about road trips. Okay, so yeah, I just came back from a 2-week road trip where I went down to Las Vegas and down to the Grand Canyon through Yellowstone National Park and whatnot. And it's not really much different than what we used to do when we traveled all the way from Vancouver here, all the way down through San Francisco, Los Angeles, and down to San Diego to go to Comic Con. Okay, and it's a similar type of very long road trip, and again, lots of good stories always come up from that. And in today's episode, I want to talk about some of the dangerous things that we end up doing at these road trips. Okay, so before we start, I want to remind everyone to go down below, click like and click subscribe. I really appreciate all the the things that we do to help grow this channel. That is clicking, you just doing something as simple as clicking like, posting a comment, even sharing the links. They all do help. Okay. And for those who would like to support me financially, I also have the super thanks button down below, as well as the links to the PayPal and Patreon down below. Subscribers get access to the special episodes that are not available on YouTube, because I'm going to talk about content that that are not should I say kosher with the YouTube algorithm and the audience of the YouTube. One of the episodes, obviously talking about road trips and kind of stuff, is issues of going by the border, i.e., customs. So if you ever watched those shows like the border crossings and that kind of stuff and whatnot, yeah, this is probably one of those type of episodes that we talk about my experiences going through that line. Again, I can't talk about it here, but on the subscriber episodes, I'm going to be posting some more things about that in the near future as well. Okay, now I guys got keep a few episodes to kind of get caught up again after being out for a little while. All right, that's what road trips tend to do. But definitely, if you're interested, go down below and do that. Okay. Also, as another update, I've also got most of the packages out for the anime giveaway. I got a few more, obviously, because I've been out for the last 2 weeks. Haven't got to quite yet, so I'll be getting to those ones, and I'll update the shipping page on that one for you very shortly, just to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. Okay, so don't worry, I got you. Just be a little patient. I'm just gonna get caught up here with the extra episodes. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the more harrowing things that happened to us while we were on these long road trips. Okay, so the most recent one I was on to, it's just a general family sort of vacation, but also just finding some different sites and basically getting some content for my for this page and whatnot. And this is probably the first time I've ever been on a vacation where I have gone into different sort of weather conditions. Okay, so in this particular example, planning a trip to Las Vegas, there was the oncoming storm of Hurricane Hilary, and of course, we did, fortunately, on the Friday, we managed to get into Antelope Canyon and a few of those slot canyons inside the Grand Canyon, which basically allows a lot of water to flow into them, and being very dry, you're able to walk into these things very easily, and the sides of the slopes of the canyons are all made of this sort of red stone, very very sort of loose rock that you can go into them. Problem, of course, is that if it ever rains, those canyons can fill up in matter of 30 minutes, up to basically head height. So the danger is very very real if it ever rains. So basically, while we were in there, it was sunny and and all right, but as soon as we were driving out, and heading back to Las Vegas, the outer rim or parts of the weather things, disruptions, if you will, started occurring from Hurricane Hilary, and watching. I'm a bit of a disaster freak. Okay, so I like to watch all those shows dealing with hurricanes and tornadoes and thunderstorms and earthquakes and all this other stuff. So here I am. We're driving back into Las Vegas, and we see just heavy rain, because obviously this is in the middle of a desert, so this kind of heavy rain is very, very uncommon, and it was just dumping on us. The cloud cover looked like essentially like a supercell. Okay, very heavy rain. It's very cloaking sort of rain shadow type of thing. So it's really hard to see the cloud cover. Very hard to see the things big develop. If you look side to side, you see dark clouds everywhere. They're starting to come together. So you keep your eyes on them to see if they actually start spiraling and seeing if any funnels start coming down. Because that was really the situation that we're driving through in that. Now again, if you're a storm chaser, you'd probably get really excited about this. As a regular civilian, you'd probably be very very threatened about this, because of it's a very ominous situation, very uncommon, yet it's very, very terrifying that you are driving into this kind of dangerous situation, where anytime if the conditions were just right, funnels will start touching the ground, and that will be a problem. But fortunately, we got out of there okay. The damage that was normally that you see in the news from in Los Angeles and Las Vegas and that kind of stuff, due to Hillary, we managed to get out of the town before then. So that was, good for me. That was good for me. Apologize to anybody who actually had to endure that kind of stuff. And I think California got off lucky. So I think this is one of the years I'm probably happy that we didn't actually plan a trip down to the Comic-Con, because that would have been a real big issue. Anyway, so that was one of the stories that was more current. The next story I wanted to get into was a road trip that we did down to San Diego Comic-Con, and our stop was in San Francisco. And so we parked relatively, downtown San Francisco. I think it was on Grant Street or something like that. Our request was to go to a place called Laser Perceptions down in the sort of the downtown core of San Francisco. Now, usually, parking's really tough, so, we kind of had to park a little bit farther away, and then, kind of had to walk down there, to get to the particular location that we needed to get to. But, so we blocked about a couple blocks away, and we were ready to go walk down towards the Laser Perceptions. Now, one of the things I did remember is that we had, this is the first year that we actually had our personalized sort of baseball jersey. So we had made these Arctic Animation, sort of like blue baseball jerseys, and we had embroidered, Arctic Animation on them. We had embroidered each individual person's name on the front and their position on the back, just like a standard ball jersey. And so that was one of the things I remembered about doing that. Anyway, we were walking towards Laser Perceptions, and all of a sudden we hear these things that sounded like gunshots. Okay, now they weren't really loud, but they were pretty notable, right? And again, we didn't think much of them, because maybe it's just somebody throwing off some firecrackers, or just some sort of weird sort of happening thing again. And then we weren't concerned about it right away until about 2 minutes after we started hearing sirens going around, and then we're going, okay, that was probably was gunshots, and now the police are now responding to the situation. It wasn't down the street from us or whatever, so we just kept on walking towards Laser Perceptions, and and then I guess they've taken care of whatever what that situation was. But it was kind of harrowing that it probably was a couple blocks away from where we actually were, because of the fact that we actually heard it. And then, of course, the emergency response came to that and had that dealt with. Now, I never did actually bother looking that up to find out what it actually really was, and what became of that. But it's just some of those other things that sort of was probably closer to what I really wanted it to be, and obviously it's just a matter of bad timing if it was in that sort of situation. That's sort of one of the things that you just don't want to get into when you're on vacation. But again, that was one of the sort of things that came up when we were on one of our road trips down to down doing the San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles sort of road trip. Okay. The last story was, a bit of a comical one, and this is sort of one that, obviously this is, common sense and should be avoided. But this was happened at the Anime Expo that happened in Anaheim, which is, of course, at the convention center right across from Disneyland. Okay, so I remember we had basically booked up space in the Disneyland Hotel. Okay, so which is the primary hotel adjacent to the Anime Convention Center. Okay, the convention center that the Anime Convention is in. All right. And we got there pretty late. Okay, I mean, remember we checked in around, I think it was really like 7 o'clock or something, because it takes a while to drive all the way down to Los Angeles, right? Even though we took a pit stop probably in San Jose or San Francisco usually, and then we drive down to Los Angeles during that day. So we probably got in late afternoon, late evening. And again, after getting all unpacked and everything and getting all ready, it's probably pretty late. None of us really wanted to go out and get anything to eat. Okay. And then all of a sudden, I remember one of the people that we had on us in our group was Anna Exter. Okay. And she thought, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm hungry. I want to go get something. I'm just gonna wander over to the 7-Eleven. Okay. Now, if you can think of Disneyland, okay, it is a fairly well-defined tourist area. Okay. The parking lot area, all the sort of the surrounding hotels and that kind of stuff that sort of draw this sort of almost gated community, if you will. Like, this is sort of like the a safe line or safe haven line where everything's really relatively clean, relatively well maintained, to an extent somewhat secure. Anyway, but if you want to get to anything that's sort of fast foodish or as I said, the convenience like a 7-Eleven. It's really on the periphery, on the really outside, maybe just beyond this sort of safe line, shall we say? Okay, and and the fact that it's just probably around midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning when this thought came into mind, saying, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go out to the local 7-Eleven." Now, of course, you're thinking, small time, the small town girl, right? Sort of like thinking, yeah, going to a 7-Eleven. In a small town, probably no big deal. Population of less than, couple thousand people. Probably no big deal. You probably know all the weirdos and all the derelict people, shall we say. In your small community, you probably know that. So that sort of thing. Moving forward, in a place like Los Angeles / Anaheim, going to some place at 1 a.m. in the morning by yourself is probably not a good thing. The saying always goes, nothing ever good happens at 1 a.m. in the morning. And probably not. So after much discussion and much, shall we say, disapproval, shall we say, two of the guys that are also with our group, decided to escort her out to go to this 7-Eleven that was it was literally one street out from the shall we say Disneyland perimeter, to go to this 7-Eleven to go get some stuff. And really, they didn't even buy very much. It was literally, like a bunch of bags of chips and something from the fast food thing, which probably at 1 a.m. in the morning probably is the stuff that's been sitting there all day since like 6 o'clock. Basically drying up and basically getting cooked to a crisp. But, that's what they have at 1 a.m. in the morning, right? So what can you do? Anyway, nothing happened, unfortunately, but, you can kind of guess, being a female out at 1 a.m. in the morning at a 7-Eleven in probably the worst part of, Los Angeles is probably not a good idea. So, again, that's probably one disaster, averted. But anyway, that just gives you sort of an indication of some of the, stuff that we have to do and think about when you're on these road trips in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, shall we say. Anyway, so I hope you can find these stories really kind of interesting. And again, I'm gonna get into more other stories and that kind of stuff as I find and get these things for you. Okay, so until next time, I will see you again.